Right here. Hey, shut up. Hey, what's the thought, beloved? This is Gabril. Tower One community. Let me extend to my brothers and sisters. Today is another random video, and right now I have Isaac. You know, Isaac, please introduce yourself. Who are
My name's Isaac. I'm a sophomore in high school, 15. I'm about to go to my girl's crib today. Parents out of town. Been waiting.
Okay.
And, honestly, I feel like I'm in love. I feel like I feel like I'm in love.
He feels like he's in love, man.
But at the same time, I feel like, how do you know you're in love? You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That's my question
how do you
to
know?
you. How do you know you're in love? By the way, we have Omar as well. Omar.
I'm Omar. I'm 15. I'm a sophomore.
You've been in the videos before.
Oh, yeah.
I know you.
No, it's all good though.
Dedicated
Little
fans
reintroduce
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Okay.
This is the chemistry table.
Okay, so Mr. I'm
Lover
taking
Boy.
Mr. Loverboy. So, how do you know you're in love, man?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like once you're in that feeling, you just know. I feel like people try to make it more complicated than it is.
Yeah.
But if you just know when you know what I'm saying? Like,
So how'd you know that you were in love? Like, when was
because
the
I
moment?
honestly, the moment, I actually remember the exact moment. We were sitting down at the lunch table. This is last year, second semester, in the cafeteria. And I was just looking at her, and I just was thinking, like, she's just such a wonderful person to be around. So honestly, but like, I don't know what you probably say.
When
I feel that.
She's just so beautiful.
When I
and-
first laid eyes on her.
No, you know what? That I wasn't immediate. When I wasn't.
So it wasn't
I
love at
wasn't
first
love.
sight?
It wasn't love at first sight, but
Okay.
Bro,
I have
that's
to get to
really
know. I feel like love at first sight. That's kind of
It's
fake.
fake.
That's not a real thing.
Really? You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody's that good to make you feel like that.
Cause what are you looking at a person like? You don't know them. All you're going off is based off looks.
Or like
so
if
that
you
love
have,
at first sight, you can't.
or if you
How
meet
do you
them
know?
for one time, you meet them for one time. Nobody's gonna be that amazing to you in a one night or a couple hours.
Yeah.
So you can't fall in love with someone in a couple hours. Nobody's that good for that.
Type shit.
Like it took me like 6 months to even say I love you. So,
But did you
Yeah.
feel like you loved her before you said it? Like months before, or
months? I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd say a few months before, like 3.
I knew
I
I
don't
loved her
know.
when I first looked at her.
I knew.
I wouldn't.
just-
I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but I knew I liked her, like immediately, obviously, because I was attracted to her.
Mhm.
But after getting to know her, she's
She's
like me.
She's like you. So
She-
is that what
she's
it
really-
is?
I think so. She's not just like me though. I don't know. It's just everything about her. She's smart. You know what I'm saying? She's thoughtful. She's
Yeah.
caring. She's just.
So
she's
what
really
are the
beautiful.
most important qualities that you feel guys should look for in a girl? Like, what do you think that all guys should look for in a girl?
Shit.
There's a lot.
Trust. Mainly like honesty.
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Well, yeah, those are good too, but I feel like intelligence, honestly. That's a big, like,
Intelligence.
the girl gotta be smart. She gotta know what she's doing. She can't be like a fucking hoe running around. You know what I'm saying?
It's not just intelligence, like first being able to communicate and like also
Maturity.
It's like-
she gotta be
I
mature.
don't know what
you
the
know
word
I'm
is
saying?
called, but it's like being able to think during situations.
Like, she has to be rational.
Right.
Like a rational person, because there's girls that like do shit, and once they do it, maybe a month, like they might not think anything of it, but a couple months later they're gonna be thinking back,
Yeah.
damn, I should not have done that. I really fucked up. You know what I mean?
You know, yesterday I was actually talking to this girl, and because you just said communication is important, but I was talking to this girl yesterday, and she was like, well, communication is important, but what is communication without understanding?
That's true.
So it's
Sometimes
like you
you
can
be talking to a brick wall.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to
communicate.
change. Some people go into like arguments already like thinking in their head like, oh, I'm right. Like I'm not even gonna listen. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You gotta
facts.
be able to, even if like you think you're right, you gotta be able to see that, like, give yourself the chance to be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
think
Give
that's it.
yourself the chance to be wrong.
You gotta think about it.
In my head, I'm right 80-90% of the time, but
Narcissist.
that's in my head, right? But at the same time, I always try to listen, because there's like times where I didn't look at it in a different way. So I'm like, oh, I'm 100% right, you know? And then I talk to them, I'm like, oh yeah, like, damn, I feel stupid.
Then you feel dumb as shit. Like, fuck, damn, she got my ass.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, I've always thought this was funny. Sometimes when you think you're in the right, but you're like, you're 100%, but you're like wrong, like you're wrong as fuck. but you're too deep into it. to admit you're-
Nah, bro, that's a thing you gotta work on. Like, admitting you're wrong is a big.
No.
That's a quality you gotta.
Yeah, you
work on
have
to
to.
I
grow.
can admit when I'm
God.
wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. But at the same time, what they said, it's like when you're too deep into
Yeah, like
it.
I feel that, bro. Like when you like fuck, like it's like that. It's like that moment hits you when they say something, and it's like, oh shit. Like
low-key,
damn, I'm
low-key.
wrong,
What do I
but you
do?
gotta keep
What
going.
do I do?
It's that pride, bro. You
I
gotta.
don't- yeah, you gotta let go of all that.
That's
shit.
another thing. You can't
Gotta
be
let
like
go of all that
prideful in
prideful,
relationships, right?
Like there'll be times when I know I realized like, damn, I was low key tripping in the moment, and I apologize. Like you just gotta, you gotta admit you're wrong. You can't let that shit.
You can apologize.
That's the type of shit that ruins relationships. It's all about listening, communicating,
Yeah.
hearing each other out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Nowadays, I listen more than I talk. Back then, I was constantly yapping.
Just
A
yapping,
professional
saying
yapper.
I am I'm amazing at arguing. Yes, I'm a D1 arguer.
What about you? Do you feel like you listen more than you talk?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
but like,
definitely do.
what does that do though? Do you feel like there's points where okay, maybe you're listening a little bit too much and you're not talking enough?
Yeah,
though?
definitely. You don't want to just be silent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just
Be all
always-
closed
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
and
yeah. You
shit.
gotta.
Try to.
You can't do that like nonchalant, like that. All that bullshit. That's not gonna work in a healthy relationship.
Right? Exactly. You can't
That's-
be nonchalant in
Like,
relationships.
that's not gonna work, bro. You gotta
You gotta
be
find
open.
the balance, because back then I used to talk too much.
Yeah.
So it's like all about being able to talk and listen, because you can listen, but you're not gonna show it. But you have to show that you're listening. You have to show that you understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
No matter the relationship or not, with a friend, anything, you got to be able to listen and try to understand. So, because I feel like once you listen and you understand what they're saying too, you're able to form your thoughts better based on how they feel about something.
That's low key facts. You are.
That's
When you what do you think? Like when you start listening to someone better, it's like you kind of start to see their side.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
things.
I feel like you can't always be 100% right. I don't think that's a real thing because everyone has different definitions of being right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no one's willingly being wrong unless you're fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So in their head, they
Imagine
think they're
that,
right.
I want to be wrong.
Like exactly. Like, so you got to see why they think they're right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like
You can
most
be.
of the time, you
you
guys are
can-
both kind of tripping, but you just got to work that shit out. You
Yeah.
just got to communicate.
There are
That's all it
times
is.
where you can be right, like, oh, I'm right, but the way you say it, the way you communicate it, just makes it way worse to the point where it doesn't matter about who's right or wrong at this point. It's
Yeah,
about the
that's-
problem that
that's
you
very
made.
true.
It's facts, man. I like that
You
you
gotta
said that.
be able to.
It's not always
communicate.
about being right, you know. It's about moving forward together. Because you
'Cause-
can be right, and then you guys break up just because you wanted to prove that point. So
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, that's
Some
true. It's
people,
not always.
like I've noticed,
yeah.
some people care more about arguing
Yeah.
and who's being right more than actually talking and solving the problem.
Yeah, and why is that though? Like, why do people want to be right so
Pride.
bad?
It's pride. It's like
I don't know,
they
it's the
feel
ego thing.
superior.
Yeah, they want to feel like they have the control, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I was
It's
talking to this girl like maybe like a week or two ago,
Yeah.
and we got on the phone, and I had asked her, we were talking about love and shit, and I asked her, well, what's the difference between loving something and being in love with something, or is there a difference?
Yeah, there is.
What's the difference?
What do you think is the difference?
You can love somebody, no matter who it is, dating or not. You can love somebody, but not show it because, let's say, somebody hurt you in the past. You still love them, you still care about them, but you're not gonna do anything because you know what's happened to you. But being in love, it's like, kind of like showing it to me.
I
feel
love
like
that you
what-
said that because I have a huge example. Go.
When you're like, I don't know how to say, like, if you're not showing it, how do you know you're like fully in love? You know what I'm saying? I feel like once you know that feeling that you love someone, it doesn't, all that past, it doesn't matter. Like, all that shit goes out the window. It's
Mhm.
all about like,
The person.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. You know
So
what I'm
when you
saying?
think that you're in love, do you think that you're uncontrollably showing it, or do you think that you could really like?
Yeah, I think once you're
contain
in
it?
love, it just comes out naturally because you love them.
So it's like
All it
you
is.
can't really control it type. shit.
Almost, yeah. Like,
Yeah, but
you don't, once you're in love, it's not, you don't even have to try. Like, it's just, that shit
Just
comes
happens.
naturally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I completely agree. And Omar, this example that I have, it relates to what you were saying about how you can love someone but not necessarily show it. But when you're in love with someone, you're showing that shit. So with my mother, actually, obviously I love my mother, you know, but our relationship isn't like, oh, I love you, and we hug and we talk about things and stuff like that. It's not like that. Although I would love for it to be that way, it's just not like that. But that doesn't mean that I don't love her. Obviously, I still love her. I say that to say this: I had a girlfriend who in my mind at the time, I was in love with her, and so I start to question, why is it that I give the treatment or the attention towards girls, but I don't give that towards my mother? Like.
That's like so good. Like what you're saying is so good, because I feel like with your mom, how do I put this? A lot of people take advantage of what their mom does.
Yeah.
Like their mom can do so much for them, because it's like their mom loves them. That's their child, but so you're already used to her giving you all the love, her doing everything for you. So how you think like she already knows I love her. Why would I need to show it?
Exactly.
Oh like some people like don't realize it's your parents' first time living too. Like you gotta like. Show them.
Dude, bro. It's your parents' first time living too. They're still new to it as well.
It is true. You gotta.
They haven't been here before. They just been here longer. Bro, that's very deep.
One thing I think about that's different between like showing your girl love and your mom love is like, no matter what, I feel like if you have like a decent mom, you know what I'm saying? No matter what happens between you guys, she's never gonna leave you. You know what I'm saying? That's why almost like
feels like advantage of that.
Exactly. Like it's almost like you try less, because like nothing's gonna come between.
She's always gonna be my mother. Exactly. It's never gonna happen.
But with someone else, like a girl, you're almost like like thinking about it.
She's not always gonna like. There's a chance she may not.
Yeah, like you can't be an asshole to her.
Let me give.
You can't take it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like.
Oh.
But when you're with your mom, you kind of. It's almost like you could like, even when you get into arguments, you could kind of let that shit out. Cause like in the back of your mind you're thinking like, nothing's gonna happen between us. Like, she's never gonna leave. It's my mom. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a girl, there's like, if you get into a really bad argument, like it could be over. You could break up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
don't take advantage of that shit.
You gotta like, you can't take advantage of it, because like what I said, it's your parents' first time living too. They're not professionals at this shit. So that's why it's like I feel like it's important to try to show them love, try to do shit for them.
Yeah.
Like I remember like a month ago. I had like a lot of cash at the time, so I gave my mom some cash, like out of nowhere, and like the look on her face was like so happy for no reason. She's like, "Oh, that's the first time like you done that." At that time I didn't have like before that I never had a job. I never like actually had money.
Never had a job.
I never had money, so I gave her shit, and she was like overly happy, and I realized like even that small thing shows like how happy she got for something that small. It's because you never showed it before. Yeah.
Like the fact that you just thought to give that to her. It's not even about the money. It's just you had her in mind, and you showed that through action, and you had her in mind. And it's powerful, man. I think that with me, like me, the way that I would give that attention to girls, but I wouldn't give it to my mother. I think that I would, since I don't do it and I consciously don't give it to my mother, it's like, damn, I have all this love contained in me that I want to dish out to her and show her that, I care. But since I don't do it, well, what do I do with that love? And I give it to other girls, like I treat other girls the way that I would want to treat my mother, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like a weird thing, and then especially being aware of it and still not like acting on it or changing anything about it kind of like fucks with me even more. It's like
there's just different ways of showing love, though.
The thing is with your mom,
obviously you're not gonna do the same thing you do with your girl with your mom.
Of course.
And that love already with your mom, it's like, how do you say, like implied almost.
It's like almost unconditional.
Yes, exactly. But with the girl, like especially if you guys just start talking, it's completely different.
And that's another thing that just came in my mind. It's like, okay, well, when you're born, usually naturally the mother loves the child, and the child, loves the mother. That's because that's all you've really known, Yeah. And so, like we were saying earlier, you kind of take advantage of it because well, that's always been there and it's always going to be there. Whereas with like a girl, you meet her and you guys have to actually grow that. You have to work towards that. So it kind of feels deeper because it isn't like you've known her since birth. It's like, no, I just met you. You're a human and I'm a human. We're trying to grow something from scratch and build something together, paint this artwork on our canvas. And so it's like you're completely more invested into it almost.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like the difference between loving someone or being in love. It's like being in love, you have to grow that. You have to get through shit for real.
The thing is, I feel like it's like with your mom. Like, I know, like, my mom, she's the type of person, she wouldn't, like, she's the type's, like, doesn't like accepting, like, a lot of presents and stuff from us, because she's, like, I remember she's the type, she's, like, she'd rather us eat first than she'd eat. She'd rather, like, us get shit before she gets a chance to get something. So we're already, like, used to her, you know, having, like the short end of the stick, you know what I mean? Like, not getting as much as everyone because she wants to put us first. We take advantage of that, thinking she doesn't need it. But in reality, it's because we're her children. But once we get shit, like, we should try to show it more, because she spent our whole lives where she didn't have as much for us, so we can get more.
And I think that's very true. You know, like, once we were born, we were basically her duty, you know? And I don't know, like we said earlier, we kind of take that for granted. It's like, although we didn't ask to be here, you know, we have that whole thing where it's like, well, I didn't ask to be here. So, and it's like, no, well, you didn't ask to be here, but you are here. And as a mother, I'm going to take care of you because you are my child, you know? She could have just thrown us away, gave us away if she wanted to, but she chose to stick around. I mean, how many girls could we say would actually stick around for us, you know, through times where shit really gets hard, you know?
That's one thing you gotta look in a girl.
Exactly.
That,
you want
someone to grow with you, even at your lowest moment. You want them to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like
there's moments where me and my mother, we get into like arguments. You know, we haven't really been arguing recently, but we've gotten some very heated arguments. And there's moments where I know she like looks at me and say, well, worries about me, like, what is he gonna do with his life and things like that. You know, so there's moments like that where normally I feel like being in a relationship, girls would give up on their guy if they didn't have that trust in him. Whereas like with a mother, it's like she doesn't give up on you. Like, she's always going to be that woman in your life where she'll never give up on you. Like, she'll always hope the best for you. You know, like with a girl, you may be in love with her now, and then some shit happens a year later. Now she wants the worst for you. Like, you and your mother can argue, but doesn't mean that she wants you to be down bad.
Yeah, that's one thing. How you know, like, I feel like when you're really in love is when you accept both the good and the bad. Yeah. Because people expect, like, I feel like the first few months of the relationship, everything's fucking, you know, everyone loves each other and shit. But if you want a really healthy relationship, like, if you truly love the person, you're willing to go through them at their worst phase, like, going through the hardships and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Compared to,
like what you said, like, how your mom, like, she wouldn't leave. Like, your mom, like, she would accept, like, not accept the bad parts of you, but like not use it against you. They wouldn't like use like the bad parts about you against you. They wouldn't do none of that. But like, there's girls or people, like, once something happens, they're gonna use what you've done against you to bring you.
You don't want a girl that's
they're
gonna
gonna
run
use
after
insecurities, stuff like that against you to bring you down. Because everything just went to shit.
And that's not love. Like,
that's not love. That's like that fake. That's what I'm saying. That's like that fake love.
It's like true colors. It's like at the beginning they show you what
they
you
love
want.
you because you're at like your best. I feel like you're at your best when you guys first get into the relationship. But you want someone that's gonna stick around. It's fine. You want someone that's gonna be able to stick around with you even at your worst, because that shows. That's like the biggest indication that they love you. They love you for who you are, even if you're at your worst or like you're going through so much shit. If they're still sticking around, they love you for you. You know what I'm saying? They're there for you. You want someone that's going to support you, someone that's going to be there for you. And I feel like with my girl, that's definitely, like, she'll definitely be there for me.
There's like, there's like girls, they'll say, like, there's people, not just girls, like people in general, they'll say they love you, they'll do everything. But once you have a problem, once you're struggling to deal with it, they don't know what to do.
They almost take it as like, the second they see a problem, they're like, oh, well, maybe we're meant to be.
Yeah, it's
but like relationships is all about ups and downs. Like, sometimes people always say like, oh, it's got to be 50-50. But I feel like that's unrealistic.
Sometimes people can't.
Exactly.
Like, there's people, like, some people have to realize that
they take it as a red flag.
You can't care for someone if you're not able to care for yourself. That's why, like, if you're with someone that really wants the best for you, if you're not able to put in 100%, 50%, they're going to be there for you, because, like, people have to realize you can't show that you love someone, care about someone, stuff like that, when you can't love or care about yourself. There's people that will either leave once they realize that, or they will stay and help you as a person.
I can actually argue that point that you're making, where you're saying you can't love someone or care for someone if you don't love and care about yourself.
Yeah.
I almost agree with that. But then what about, and I'm speaking from experience. So there was a point in time where my ex, right, she would cheat and do all these crazy things. But yeah, I'm still having deep talks with her about her mental state. I'm still, showing that I actually care. Whereas with most other guys, you could say that I didn't give a fuck about myself, because although she's going through all these different things, knowing that it's hurting me, I'm still showing up. Whereas with other guys, they may have said, fuck that bitch, you're a hoe, you're a slut, I'm done with you. So it's like, to kind of argue your point where, well, I still cared about her even though she was hurting me.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, okay, let's say how you said it. So she did either to she hurt you, but you still tried, you still kept going. But think about what happened to yourself. That I'm trying to say, it's like, oh, you're doing all this for somebody, but you can't do that for yourself. Look how it's.
God, think is it
Look how it affects you.
Mm-hmm.
Look how you're staying up at night thinking about it. You can't sleep. You're struggling to eat, stuff like that. There's like, that's what I'm saying. Even if you still do try to love someone more than you love yourself, or care about someone more than you care about yourself, look at what it does to you.
Mm-hmm. Facts. No, I completely agree with that.
I guess, but I feel like in a relationship you can't.
Not
You always gotta. I feel like in a relationship you always love the other person more. That's all it really is about. Of course.
Really?
Of course, I love my girl way more than I. Well, I'm not saying I don't love myself. Like I'm very happy with myself.
I love my girl more than I love myself.
But I'm saying, like, if someone really loves you, they'll be, I don't know, they'll be able to put you before themselves. That's one indication.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, are you meaning circumstantial, like at certain points?
This is anything in general. Consistently.
Like, so your girl is always ahead of you.
Well, okay, not always putting yourself,
first.
Yeah, but like, I feel like most of the time, like, I don't know, it's just about caring about the other person. If you truly care about them, then
you always have them in mind.
Yeah. Even before yourself.
That's interesting.
But it depends, because I know, like, I know people that they try to show you that they care, and they try their best. They try like everything to show you that they care. They show that they love you, but maybe they have things going on to the point where they can't, because how are they gonna try to worry about you when they have so much shit going on to the point where they have to put themselves first at one point. But like, oh, if you're with someone, you always gotta you always love them more. It's not about loving them more. It's all about like showing it, because you can't show it, because you can love somebody and also put yourself first at that moment. So it's not like, oh, they're always number one. It depends on the situation. Like, to you, okay, they're your number one priority, but when something happens, you have to put some things first, try to fix things, because nobody's gonna be, no matter what happens, nobody's always gonna be consistently your number one, because things might happen where you have to take a step back, take from that relationship, or take some time to where you're able to come back better and
I see what you're saying. So you're basically saying that there's certain moments in life where, although you care about this person, you need to focus on your own shit, put them aside, and grow. And then not only will it help you, it'll also help them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you do gotta take a break from a relationship, because if you don't have full love in yourself, you're not confident, then there's no point. You're not gonna be able to love someone else.
Yeah, and sometimes helping yourself will help both of you.
Exactly.
That's yourself.
Like, if you're at that point, you shouldn't. It's not like you don't love them. It's just like you're not able to be in a relationship. It's just it is what it is.
Okay, so yesterday I was talking to Alyssa and Zeta. Actually, that was the video that I made, and we were basically talking about this girl, these two girls actually. But one, she cares about me deeply, and I care about her as well. And so the thing is, I won't get with her because I'm just attracted to other girls, and I don't want to commit to her specifically. But me and her are very close, Yeah. She's like, I consider her a good friend of mine, that I would want to have around. And I can tell that there's like a love there almost, But the thing is, her feelings may be involved still, where it's like she's maybe hoping one day I come around. I'm not sure if that will happen. I don't want to make any promises. My thing is, do I let that go? Because people are saying for us to completely stop talking. I don't feel that that's necessary though, because we're still like very close. Like, yes, she likes me, but that there's like a friendship there that I wouldn't want to lose just because she likes me.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you guys are just hurting yourselves.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta get. I know that she likes you, you know, but I feel like if you, I don't know how to say it. You don't want to make her think that there's a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just by being her friend, she's never gonna get over you. You need to give her space. Like, I know you don't want to lose that friendship, but honestly, I feel like that's the healthiest thing for you guys to do.
There's like things that's like they're like, how do I put this? They like you. You're important, very important to them. So I feel like also cutting them off is gonna hurt them, but they're gonna have a chance to heal from it. And at the same time, with you cutting them off, you're gonna.
Right, I think we gotta.
They're very important to you, but at the same time, you don't wanna bring their hopes up to the point where it just gets way worse for them.
You know, give them, you know, sell them a dream and shit. No, we have to go. Basically, this is the conclusion. We just had a little conversation. I wish we can keep this going. I'm low-key down to continue this.
I'm down
at some point. Yeah, how you guys feel about that? That was a random ass video.
That was a random ass video.
I thought we were gonna lay down a fat beat, to be honest.
I thought we were gonna talk about music.
Me too.
Who knows, man? Who knows what we're
No
gonna do?
cardio,
But bros want to say music of the heart.
Well, I would do the outro. This isn't one of those videos where I'll do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And this is Isaac. This is Omar. Thank you guys for coming on. Pose real quick. Just do some stupid shit. I don't know. For a thumbnail, I guess.
I don't do no thumbnails.
That's good. All right. Bye.